Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? I think we're live. Hopefully we're live. Can people confirm if we're live? How are we all doing? Welcome back. Hey, we had a night off. We had a night off last night. No footy on last night. So we're back, though, for Huddersfield Town against Bolton Wanderers. We got club football back. Club footy's back. There's no international footy now. For a bit. But we've got club football back. Actual club football back on our screens. Yes. Get in. Premier League's back this weekend. We're days away. You can taste it. You can taste it. Can't be arsed with international, says Jamie. Jamie, we're all in the same boat, mate. None of us like it. We all hate it. But I sit in and watch every international anyway, just because it's football and I love football. Some football's better than no football, but this is by far better. Club football is where it's at. And yeah, looking forward to this one. Terriers v Trotters tonight. Terriers v Trotters. Lee Grant aiming to make a statement on home soil against Bolton. It's a chance to kind of get them... Well, Bolton's away record isn't brilliant. Bolton's away record isn't fantastic tonight. They have won the last two head-to-heads against Huddersfield, so maybe the form book is slightly with them in that sense. And both of them will be up for the fight tonight after the international break. Some big names tonight for Huddersfield. Obviously, Alfie May, everyone's expecting to put on a show and maybe be amongst the goals tonight. Obviously, with Bolton, they've got Burstow and Force up front. Colsier Dubry as well in midfield, pulling the strings. Aussie Tutu as well. So there's plenty of talent on show, and both of these teams, very big clubs. Once back in the Premier League, see if we can get them back up into the Championship next year. One of my best mates is a big Huddersfield Town fan, and he's really looking forward to this one. Hey, and there he is. Evening key up the Terriers. There he is. Dawn up the town, come on. Dawn Whittaker, Lee Grant's Barmy Army. The Terriers against the Bolton, come on. I assume that Bolton are going to be in the lovely pink away kit. I have no idea. I assume so, though. Hey up Isaac, how's it going? And Jamie, I love non-league footy. As do we all. Yeah, love a bit of non-league footy. LFC fan 200, AK, how's it going? Good to see you, man. Good to see you back. The teams are in, by the way. We did talk about it just before, but I'll go through them again. Why not? So we've got, for the visitors, it's Sharman Lowe in goal. It's Conway, Johnston, Toll, and Dacres Cogley at the back. Aussie Tutu, Simons, Sheehan, and Colsier Dubry midfield. And Burstow and Force as the front two. Marcus Force on loan at Bolton from Middlesbrough. He's had a decent start to his Bolton career. 2 goals in his opening 6 games. So Marcus Force will be looking to carry that on. He hasn't really hit the heights at Borough that he did in his first season there. Kind of fallen away in the last couple of years, hasn't he? He had a couple of injuries and things like that. It's not quite worked out for him, but still relatively young Marcus Force, and the Finnish striker will be after trying to get back amongst the goals for the Wanderers. So yeah, Burstow and Force up front for Bolton. Aussie Tutu, Colsier Dubry on the wings. Probably they'll be the ones providing most of the chances. I would imagine Javi Simons pulling the strings in the midfield. That's Javier Simons for Bolton, not the Javi Simons from Spurs, of course. Just in case you get the two confused. And for Huddersfield, it's Nichols in goal. It's Gooch, Feeney, Lowe, and Ruskin at the back. It's Kasumu and Ledson in midfield. Ex-Everton midfielder Ryan Ledson. He's a bit of a veteran now. First year at Huddersfield. He's bounced around a little bit. Went to Preston after his time at Oxford. But came out of the Everton Academy. Still only 28. Maybe in his peak years now as a footballer. And he's going to be pulling the strings for Town tonight against Bolton. Up front, in front of Kasumu and Ledson, you've got Castledine on the left, you've got Wilds in the 10, and you've got Alfie May kind of in the right-hand side channel off the right, behind Towns. Number 9, Joe Taylor. And Joe Taylor's had an interesting start to the season, to say the least. He's had 4 goals in his opening 11 appearances. So, feels like... and he's still only 22. Young lad. Again, a young lad who's maybe not settled in his career so far. Bounced around after he came out of the Peterborough Academy. He went to Luton. I think he had a spell at Colchester, Lincoln. And then he's kind of stumbled and found his way at Huddersfield. But he's still only a young lad. Scrum Down Live, lovely to see us back in the Championship. Oh, would love to see us back in the Championship. That's our level. Premier League is a bonus. Nah, you got to aim high. Aim high. That's what it's about. Reese's Footy Feed, these two have been really bad by their high standards. You'd surely expect them both to be top 6 minimum come May. I think both could be expected to be playoffs, yeah. I think it'd be a disappointing season for either of these if they ended up outside the playoffs. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you, M15. Bursto again, ole, ole. Good to see you, everyone. How are we doing? Can see the chat filling up. LFC fan says that Simons for Bolton was linked with Hibs. And I'm going Aberdeen away next week, Key. Oh, up to Pittodrie. Or Hill of Dung, as it's not. Unbelievable. I liked it up at Pittodrie. It's a nice ground. Yeah. It's cold, though. It'd be very cold at this time of the year up in Aberdeen. I mean, it's cold all year round in Aberdeen, isn't it? Let's be honest. But it'll be very cold next week whenever you go in. The Scrum Down Live says aim reasonable, so not to be disappointed. Nah, it's a coward's way out, man. A coward's way out, man. Right, Bolton 4-0 tonight. Some big predictions coming in already. Bolton being heavily fancied to put one past the town. Philip says favourite German club. Favourite German club. I like quite a few German clubs, you know. There's a fair few. I don't mind Hamburg. I like Bochum. Mainz. Yeah, I got a little bit of a soft spot for Mainz. That's probably it, you know. M157, who's playing, pal? We're watching Huddersfield Town against Bolton Wanderers. Timbo Slice, hola senor. Hola senorita. How's it going, man? Mark Russell Davis, what do you think of the whole Gerrard situation? Yes, Stephen, and it's not just Gerrard, is it? Gerrard pulling out of the Rangers job. And then, who was the other lad who's just pulled out of it? Danny Roll, Sheffield Wednesday's ex-manager. He's pulled out of it. So it feels like it's all of a sudden just starting to get a little bit... Hang on a minute. Why do managers keep going for interviews? They obviously get invited. They like the sound of managing Rangers. They get to a point and then they're a little bit... Maybe they revealed something about what the club's expectations are. Maybe they revealed what the budget is going to be. Maybe... I don't know. But either way, Danny Roll and Steven Gerrard have got so far into the interview process that they have then gone, nah. Yeah, you're all right. We'll leave it. We'll pass. So, yeah, it's sad. It's very sad to see Rangers in such a way. And even more sad that we're probably going to end up seeing Kevin Muscat. Kevin Muscat's going to be Rangers manager. Is there a more... I mean, it gets... Surely Joey Barton would be the only more unlikable footballer over the last God knows how many years. Kevin Muscat is pretty universally disliked in football, isn't he? Kevin Muscat, Rangers manager. That might just sway me back towards Celtic. I'm kind of 50-50 between Celtic and Rangers. I've always kind of maybe edged towards Rangers a little bit just because of Gerrard and Souness, and Kenny Dalglish was a Rangers fan, and we had a lot of good Rangers players. But inevitably, if you have Kevin Muscat as your manager, I'm going to find it very difficult to support him. LFC fans says, I'm going Aberdeen with my granddad and dad. Lovely. We'll have a nice day out, mate. It'll be a lovely trip, that. It's a nice place, Pittodrie. Daz Reynolds, what's your 11 for Sunday if all were fit? I'd go Wirtz, Gravenberch, McAllister in midfield. I would put Szoboszlai. It's so tough. I don't want to put Szoboszlai right back, but I think we probably have to. If we're up against Matthias Cunha. I think we need to respect Cunha a little bit, so we'll see. I'd probably put Szoboszlai right back. Key Trey says, back again. Great to see you, mate. Good to see you too, man. Yeah, great to have you back on the channel. Very, very nice to have you. LFC Fan 200. I'm not aware of Kevin Muscat. You might be maybe, I don't know, I don't want to patronise you, but he might be a bit too young for Kevin Muscat. Kevin Muscat was known as a bit of a hatchet man. Back in the day in football, he used to go around and, just leave one on players. He was known for kicking players and doing all sorts. He was a dirty player, Kevin Muscat. Hamburger the GOAT says Dylan Pample. Alfie says 20 goals. Mason Burstow tonight. Burstow against May. They are maybe the two stars for tonight to watch. B says, do you think Trent will get a presentation on his return? I think he'll get presented with something, probably a shit ton of booze. That'd probably be about the only thing he'll get. Timbo Slice, will Liverpool put their losing streak to an end this weekend? Yes. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying Liverpool... I think Liverpool will wipe the floor with Man United for what it's worth. I think we'll beat them 3 or 4-0. I really do think we'll win 3 or 4-0 this weekend and we'll batter them. There's nothing... United don't want to play us right now. They do not want to play us. I think we'll stick 3 or 4 past them. But I could maybe see, if all goes really terribly for Liverpool, I could maybe see them pinching a draw. And that would be the best that they could hope for. If they get a draw, they'll have done incredibly well. But I don't think they've got a draw in them. United are crap. They're awful. And we're the champions for a reason. We played pretty poorly last couple of weeks, but we'll stick a few past them. I'm not worried. Dylan Pample says, do you think West Brom can regain form and make the playoffs? I certainly hope so. I like West Brom an awful lot. And I'd like to see West Brom come back into the Premier League, to be honest. Maybe more so than some of the other, maybe more touted Championship sides. I think there's a few Championship sides that will probably come up that I wouldn't want to come up. I'm sick and tired of seeing Southampton in the Premier League, but I think they probably do come up. I'm sick and tired of seeing Leicester, but I think they probably do come up. I don't mind Ipswich. I won't mind Ipswich come back up. But I'd like West Brom. And in an ideal world, I'd like maybe someone like Blackburn or or Preston maybe. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Mark Russell Davis, seems a bit strange. Thinks the Danny Roll thing must have seen fans going nuts on his appointment. And Diligent Official says 1-1. Huddersfield score first. Bolton scored in the 93rd minute. They've given me the script, bro. If that happens, you've got to come back and just soak up the success of that shout. Because if that somehow happens, fair play. Reese's Footy Feed says he wouldn't even play now in this VAR era. He'd be constantly suspended. He did used to kick everything above grass, didn't he, Kevin Muscat? Callum McCoppite, you like West Brom and they're a proper bogey side to us. Nah, they balls. You smash West Brom every other week. They got a couple of victories here and there, but that was they're not a bogey side for us. There's far more. Birmingham City are a bogey side for Liverpool. What we saying, Timbo? I know Liverpool's centre back depth isn't great, but I'm wondering if 3-4-3 would suit Liverpool's new signings. I think there's a world where Gravenberch drops back in maybe, and he asks Gravenberch to play a slightly different role. The good news is we've had a real problem over the last few months, Liverpool, with Alexis McAllister. Alexis McAllister just hasn't been right this season. He's had a major injury that he's just not recovered from, really. He's been crap. Alexis McAllister, I would have said, was up there with one of the best midfielders, and I mean top 3. Top 3 central midfielders in football, I would have said Alexis McAllister's in there. And then at the start of this season, I don't know what's happened to him, but he's been dreadful. And I mean dreadful. Can't find a pass. He's not winning his tackles. He looks slow. He looks knackered. He's just all over the place. So McAllister had a really, really, really good game for Argentina last night. I think he scored 2. He set up 1. They ended up winning 6-0. So, yeah, he is, I'm hoping, getting back into some form, and I'd like to see McAllister start against United. I think he's going to be a big player for us. Right, what we saying? Alex Macklin, how are things, Key? Football back is at least. Absolutely, mate, that's it. Sam Dawson, AK, I'm in the bath. Nice. Love it. John, who was that striker that Birmingham had back in the day? Christ, mate, there's a fair few. There was Zigic. There was Pandiani. Alex Macklin, the lad from Dortmund, looks okay for LFC. Who's the lad from Dortmund? Eddie Allen. How's it going, Eddie? Good to see you, man. Clarkey, you're 2-1 United. Not a chance. Martin says, is the pressure on Schumacher? Always. He's got to get back. He's got to get back in the car and do another lap, hasn't he? Been out of the game too long. Poor fella. I like Schumacher. The Scrum Down Live. Who's your favourite Town player of all time? Key Jordan Rhodes for me. Jordan Rhodes. Nah. Favourite Town player. Steve Mounier. Jill says, I haven't had a good day. You've not had a good day? Tell us, share with the group, mate. I hope your day gets better. It's pretty awful when you've had a bad day. I hope everything's alright. Adam says, thoughts on pundits saying Arteta's defensive approach is unsustainable. Well, whether or not it's unsustainable is up to Arsenal fans, isn't it, really? The guy's not won a tap in 6 years. So, I don't think there's any signs of that changing. I personally think that Arteta's taken Arsenal as far as he can take him. Whether or not that's unsustainable is up to Arsenal fans. If the Arsenal fans want to kick off about it, then it's unsustainable. If Arsenal fans are quite happy finishing in the top four, maybe they get an FA Cup or a League Cup somewhere down the line, then maybe it is sustainable then. But he ain't going to win a Champions League or a Premier League playing like that. He ain't going to win a Champions League or a Premier League playing with signing those sorts of players that he signed. Or playing that way. No, he isn't. He's going to struggle. Really struggle. So, the quick answer, the short answer is, your question was, is Arteta's defensive approach unsustainable? No, it isn't unsustainable. It's very sustainable. Because Arsenal fans don't really seem that arsed about it. They seem to think he's got, he can sprout gold mushrooms out his arse or whatever. The guy's absolutely worshipped to some extent, and I don't really understand why. Adam, fans have no say whatsoever. That's where you're wrong. Fan power always tells. If the pressure starts to grow on Mikel Arteta, but it will be because of the fans, right? It will be because the fans have gone, this ain't good enough. This is not good enough anymore. We demand better. We expect better at Arsenal. If Arsenal fans decide, relatively unanimously, that they think he's got to have won a title, with the amount of money he spent more than anyone else. He's had enough time. He's built a squad. He continually finishes second. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. If Arsenal fans decide that's not good enough and they want to take a risk and go and get someone else, then that's their right. That's the fans' right, and I'm sure the board will have to listen to that. What we saying? Sorry, apparently both Spurs and United pushing for Semenyo. Semenyo's not going United. Where are they going to play him? They're not got a space for him. He's better than Mbermo and Cunha. And you're not going to put either of them on the bench. So I don't know where they put him. United Forever says, hi Key, honestly I'm being serious. I can see United winning on Sunday. You want to be careful, mate. If you keep saying things like that, the men in white coats will be coming for you. Just be very, very careful. They'll be listening out for things like that. Martin felt for him when he was sacked from Stoke, although wouldn't swap him for Robbins. I mean, Stoke haven't done great things since he left, to be honest. They've kind of fallen away a little bit, haven't they? Luke Etherington says Arsenal won't win the Premier League. Absolutely agree. And Alex Macklin says some Arsenal fans are saying they are bored with his football. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It is boring, isn't it? It is boring. Let's be honest. Mikel Arteta's football is not entertaining. It isn't. Reese's Footy Feed says Coventry and Borough promotion would be peak 90s, early noughties Premier League nostalgia. Highfield Road was a right burr pit. Highfield Road was great, wasn't it? Highfield Road, Borough, the old Borough team littered with Brazilians like Juninho and Emerson. Some cracking players. Hamilton Ricard. I know he wasn't Brazilian, but he was South American, wasn't he? He was Colombian, I think, wasn't he? Hamilton Ricard. Adam says Semenyo apparently has a £70 million release clause. Has he signed a new contract recently? Because I'm sure didn't Spurs get close to an offer accepted for around 60? And it was decided that they didn't want to let him go because they'd already sold Kirkes and Hyson and Zabani and Kepa, and everyone had basically left them. Timbo, I think people need to remember just how shit Arsenal were before Arteta joined. He's done a great job, really. And Lee Shear says Arsenal fans starved of success. They believe in the process. Listen, nobody's denying that Arteta has taken Arsenal forward. Of course he's taken Arsenal forward. The question is, can he take them to where they want to get to? Can he get them to challenging for the title, challenging for the Champions League? And the answer so far has been a resounding no. So, I don't see that changing, personally. With the signings that they've made, I don't see that changing. I think both Liverpool and City have a better chance of winning the title this year than Arsenal. In my opinion, anyway. I could be proved wrong. Jill says, I've had a cat since I was 7 and I'm moving, so I had to give my cat away this morning. Oh, bloody hell, mate, that's sad. I'm not really a cat person. So I guess I can't really empathise when it comes to cats. But dogs certainly, yeah. I don't think dogs are family to me. There's no way I could give my dog away. So I imagine you're very upset. So I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I'm sorry. As long as they've gone to a nice home, I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine, and that's the main thing. Adam, he signed a new contract in the summer. Have you been living under a rock? Well, no, I've not been living under a rock. I just didn't clock that he'd signed a new contract. I mean, it's not exactly headline news. There's a lot of new contracts that go flying under the radar. Jordan Pickford signed one today and I didn't know about it until literally just before coming on the live. So, yeah, there's all sorts of contracts that get signed. You never always keep up with them. It's hard enough to keep up with everything else. Alex says, I go for Bolton. I get fed up with these punters obsessed with Arsenal, especially on Sky. And Timbo says, absolutely now, City and Liverpool aren't what they were. He should take this chance. Right, well, we have got... the game is about to get underway anyway. Bolton are in their lovely pink away kit. And the John Smith Stadium at Huddersfield, not quite packed, but it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Huddersfield approach this one. Sky have got them in a 4-4-2. I'm not sure if that is exactly how they're going to line up. Gooch at right back. Taylor and May as the two centre forwards. The old Mike Bassett 4-4-2 for Huddersfield, according to Sky. John Zena says, John Smith, I thought it was called the Kirklees. Well, it's kind of both. It's both. It is the John Smith Stadium, I'm sure. It's always been the John Smith Stadium. Reece Crownshaw, Bolton kit is nice to be fair. And Timbo says, will Coventry go up or will they fall away? The only thing that makes me think they might fall away is Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard's not a manager with staying power, is he? So something tells me if they are gonna fall away, it'll be as a result of him overcomplicating things from a managerial point of view. Bolton to win 2-1, says Alex. There's Leo Castledine, 3 goals, 2 assists to Huddersfield this season. It's not been a bad start to the season for him. Huddersfield 7th in the table, Bolton 9th. But Huddersfield in a bit of a bad run of form, let's be honest. Huddersfield have lost 2 of the last 3 league matches. They have got a half-decent defence, though, Huddersfield. They're 6 clean sheets in 11 league matches this season. But Bolton haven't won away. Bolton haven't won away all season. Huddersfield have lost 2 in 3. This could go either way. The only certainty tonight, and this might be the curse of the commentator, the only certainty tonight is that we'll get over 1.5 goals in the game. So I think we'll get at least a couple of goals in the game. Huddersfield have scored quite a few this season. When they have conceded, they've conceded quite a few. They've lost 2 of the last 3. Bolton usually concede quite heavily on the road as well. It feels like this is going to be a game with goals in it. So at least 2 goals in the game is a certainty in my opinion. And Bolton are about to get us underway. I think it's Xavi Simons as well who has got us underway. There you go, we're off. We're off. Adam says, even if Arteta isn't up to levels, could that squad win it, regardless of Arteta's abilities? Well, it depends if he will allow them to win it, mate. That's the question. You've got to remember that he's making decisions that are, in Arsenal's own fans' opinion, is holding the team back. How many times this season have you heard Arsenal fans say, Mikel, release the handbrake, bro? Or words to that effect. You know, they're forever telling him that he's playing with a handbrake on. And it's true. It is true. He's too risk averse. Don't want to take any chances. They're boring to watch. If they do win the title, and I'll be honest, they probably should win the title this year, given the amount of money that they've spent and the fact that they've not really changed an awful lot of their squad this summer, they should win the title. They should be favourites. They are favourites in many cases. So they should win the title. If they don't win the title this year, or rather, if they do win the title this year, they will be the most boring title winners I think we've had in maybe 15 years. Was it Chelsea maybe last time? It's probably the last one I can think of where they weren't really all that entertaining under Conte. Yeah. Maybe not 15 years. I can't remember when that was. Maybe 10 years. I don't know. Bit less than 10, wasn't it, actually? Reese's Footy Feed, on paper, Bolton's attack is bonkers for League One. Yeah, it's been a bit of a mishmash. I mean, they've got Force in on loan for Borough. But I think the fact that he's had a bit of a fall from grace is probably in their favour. 16-17 was Conte. There you go. So 8, 9 years. There or thereabouts. EFC Edit, shouldn't you be a Bolton fan with that accent? Well, let's explore that. Do you think, I mean, for a kick-off, I'm nowhere near Bolton. I've never been born anywhere near Bolton. Nowhere near Bolton. Don't know where you think this accent is, but it ain't anywhere near Bolton. You might want to get your old accent detector on, kid, because it ain't a Bolton accent. However, I will say, would you argue that if you're not a Scouser, you're not an Everton fan? If there's an Everton fan from, I don't know, let's say, I'll pluck a location out of thin air. Is it like, let's say Wales? Yeah, let's say you're an Everton fan from Wales. Are you less of an Everton fan, in your opinion? Are you not really an Everton fan? Unless you've got like an L postcode, purple wheelie bin type of thing. Nah. Oh, so you are a proper Everton fan, then you're still a proper Everton fan even though you're not born locally. That's interesting. Isn't that kind of a bit of a hypocritical thing then that you've just said about me? Odd that, innit? Think about that, Chief. Think about that. Work your way through it. Come back to me when you've had a little think. Get a pen and paper. Alex says, why are people saying Arsenal have the best squad? Our squad is good as well. Why are they favourites? Well, they're favourites because the fact that they've not had to change anything, to be honest. They've changed Zubamendi and Gyökeres. That's about it. EFC edits, how are you going to glory hunt with Everton? What do you mean, how are you going to glory hunt with Everton? Well, I don't really understand what you mean. There's loads. I wasn't glory hunting when I supported Liverpool. I'm a 4th generation Liverpool fan in my family. And for what it's worth, when I started supporting Liverpool, they were shite. They were finishing 7th and 8th in the league. So, there's no glory hunting when I supported Liverpool. Good tackle from Bolton. Unlucky. Better from Huddersfield going forward, and Bolton, big tackle at the end there. EFC edits, 7th is sound. Well, it would be for Everton, wouldn't it? Christ, that'd be your best season in about 20 years, finishing 7th. Adam says Arne Slot really wanted Zubamendi. No, he didn't. Not really. To be fair, Pep Guardiola wanted him. Arne Slot wanted him. But Zubamendi decided against it. That's totally fine. He's a good player, though. Oh, chance! Oh, unlucky. Must be. Oh, cleared away. Huddersfield. They're on top here. Bolton hanging on for dear life. But yeah, I don't think Arne Slot desperately wanted Zubamendi because we already had McAllister. So it's... McAllister's a better player than Zubamendi. EFC edit, take it or not, we're getting top 4. Pick a charity of your choice. If you get top 4 this... In fact, I'll tell you what. If you get top 6 this season, come back to this. I don't think you've got the balls anyway. I don't think you've got the balls to come back. But I reckon if you pop back about March, May, maybe April time even if you want. And we'll see where Everton are. And if there's a chat, I'll pick a charity you want. Whatever charity you want. Everton in the community. I'll donate Everton in the community if Everton get top 6. Because that is... whatever you want. Pick a number. Say it again, it cut out. Ah, well, I can't help you got shit headphones, Chief, or shit internet. That's what you get for living in... That's what you get for living in Birkenhead, that lad. Tom Wren says Bolton, too hard. Arsenal have the best squad, 100%. Chance, there you go, 1-0 Huddersfield. It's 1-0 and it's Leo Castledine, isn't it? I think it is. It's 1-0 to Town. There you go. Straight in, off the corner. It was whipped in near post. Great header that. Fabulous header near post, and Huddersfield are 1-0 up. Great goal. Adam, apples and oranges, Zubamendi and McAllister. No, only if you're a spreadsheet virgin. If you're an absolute spreadsheet virgin, then yeah, they're apples and oranges. They're not. They're absolutely not apples and oranges. McAllister and Zubamendi are apples and oranges. In what world are you living, lad? Great header that from Castledine, unlucky. Lee Grant there, very happy with that one. Great goal. Great header that. Lovely corner, lovely goal. Huddersfield 1-0 up. And we're off to a bang. We're off to a flying start here. Ronnie Dodge just watched the Women's Champions League. United ladies have won their games back-to-back 1-0 wins. Right, well, at least the ladies can do that. The men's certainly can't, can they? Harv, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. Clarkey, Lee Grant, former Man United player. He is, yeah. He was there not that long ago as well, wasn't he? He was like third choice keeper for United not that long ago. Claim, do you know what? There's a little bit of a claim there for Bolton that he gets shoved to the ground. No, you're not getting that. No, that's really poor. Who is it who gets dragged down there? think it might be Conway. Is it Conway? It might be Dacris Cogley. I don't know who it is who ends up getting dragged down. But either way, he gets dragged to the floor, and Castledine with the header. Great goal, that. Wonderful goal. EFC edits, we've got the most accurate long balls per 90. Oh, there you go. There's another stat sheet. There's another spreadsheet virgin in the chat. Most accurate long balls per 90. You are off your rocker if you think for 1 second that means Everton again in the top half. Honestly. Most accurate long balls per 90. You are off your head. Everton are finishing the top 4. What are you talking about? Lad, we've got the most accurate long balls per 90. Oh, they made me laugh, if nothing else, these Blues. Lad, what are you talking about, lad? We got the best accurate long balls per 90. Oh my goodness me. Good ball in, Huddersfield. Nearly 2. Adam McAllister is not an out-and-out defensive midfielder, is he? I don't watch all of Liverpool's games. And would you class Zubamendi as an out-and-out defensive midfielder? Because I would assume from that comment you don't watch all of Arsenal's games either. EFC edits, you said before and I wouldn't be 25 mil. He's proved you wrong with that pen. Is that a serious statement? Illiman and Di's proved me wrong, what, by scoring a penalty? Is it still 0 assists in 18 months in the Premier League? 18 months in the Premier League, hasn't registered an assist. Hasn't registered an assist in the Premier League. Meant to be an attacking creative player. Hasn't registered an assist in the Prem. In 18 months. That's how big game Illiman and Di is. But hey, listen, I'm sure he's good for Everton, isn't he? I mean, for Everton, he's good. That's what you want for Everton. You want that sort of a player. Because he's just good enough to be your best player, but just shit enough that nobody else would want him. That's important for Everton. Bit like Pickford. He's in what we call the Pickford zone. The Pickford zone, basically. That's where Illiman and Di is. Just good enough to be like, wow, we've got a world-class player, lad. Just good enough for that, but just shit enough that nobody else would want him. Timbo, love your key, but disagree on Ndai. I think he'd be brilliant in a better attack. Zero assists in 18 months. Like, I'm not one for stats. But that is stats up there. 0 assists in 18 months is that's a tough sell. We've got this unbelievable attacking midfielder. What sort of contributions is he getting? 0 assists in 18 months. I mean, Adam says, lately Zubamendi is playing as a defensive midfielder and sometimes forms a back 3 with Saliba and Gabriel. I mean, let's be honest, mate. It's more of a back 9 for Arsenal. There's not too many attacking players in that Arsenal squad, so I wouldn't call Zubamendi a defensive midfielder. I just think he has to play quite deep for Arsenal anyway. D. Nickel, Truro v Halifax prediction. I'd go for a Halifax away win in that one. 2-1. Truro aren't doing so well, are they? So I'd go 2-1 Halifax. Maybe 3-1. Should be confident there. EFC edit, he's had 6.8 expected assists. Oh, well, hey, put them in the bank. Put them in the bank. 6.8 expected assists. Crikey. What a player. Here's Bolton. That's going to be a free kick, ref, surely. Is it? No, cleared away by Huddersfield. G. Lawrence, Graham Potter to Sweden, Key. Thoughts? Has he actually signed for him? I haven't seen it, you know. I haven't seen if he signed for him. The last I heard was that John Dahl Thomason's position was being questioned, but I don't actually know if he's been sacked or what. Or Graham Potter's been put in. Timbo, who was in Dye going to assist last year, though? Well, I mean, the same. Everton had a half-decent attack last year. I mean, they weren't brilliant, but they weren't dreadful. Beto was actually all right, and once David Moyes came in anyway, Beto actually played quite well. I mean, he's pretty terrible, but he played quite well back end of last year. EFC edits, Barca will get him next year for 80 mil, we'll invest smartly again. You'd a lost cause, Chief. You're a lost cause. Invest smartly. Yeah, Tierno Barry, 30 million quid. Tyler Diblin, 45 million quid. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, 30 million quid. Invest wisely. You're having a laugh. Ronnie Dodge, jump from TikTok. Looks like we've made a breakthrough for the land next to Old Trafford for the new stadium. I definitely think Fulham are getting something Saturday against Arsenal. Well, Arsenal have got a bad record at Craven Cottage, so that might be one worth watching. As far as the land next to Old Trafford and the new stadium, I mean, I'm really disappointed by that. I don't want to see Old Trafford getting knocked down. Timbo says, Kudus had shit numbers last year for West Ham, but we all knew he'd look better for Spurs. Thinking Dye is similar to Kudus in that sense. Nah, but Kudus has done it. Has done it previously. Illiman and Dye never has. Joe says, Key, why are you worrying about Everton? I thought you were the big boys. We are, mate. We're absolutely the big boys. I'm just being asked about Everton at this moment in time. It feels rude not to respond. What are we saying? If Kudus goes for 70, how is Ndiaye not 25 million? Well, no, but I think there's a market for Kudus. That's my point. I think if you look at Kudus, you think to yourself, right, he could be a player that could move up a level, that could take a team from here to here. I don't think Kilman Ndiaye is that. Put it this way: if Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea are looking for a wide player, there's about 50 other players they're looking at before Illiman Ndiaye. And I mean, 50's like a conservative estimate. And then you can apply that to Bayern Munich, you can apply that to Barcelona. Or, like, I could see Illiman Ndiaye maybe go into, like, maybe like a Juventus. If Kenan Yildiz left, maybe he could go to a Juventus. That'd be about it. But nowhere else. Like, he's not going to go anywhere else. He's not good enough. He's just not good enough. Adam, am I the only one that thinks Chelsea spent unwisely? They could have signed players ready for now, not the future. I think Chelsea have spent all right in part. I think they've gone overboard with wingers. Like, I don't know why they needed Gittins, Garnacho, Esteval. And they've already got, they got Delap, they got João Pedro, they got Guiu. They play with one centre forward. They've got Neto up there, Cole Palmer up there. It feels like they're overloaded in those forward areas, and I don't think they needed that much. I think you could probably say the same with the midfield as well to a degree. And the defence, they've got no one. The defence is all over the place. The goalkeeper situation is a disaster, and that's why Chelsea won't get anywhere near the top three. They'll be miles off the top three. That's the problem for Chelsea. Good team. Nowhere near the title, nowhere near challenging City, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Nowhere near it. And Ronnie, there's rumours United are interested in taking Garner back to United from Everton. That'd be a bad move. Maybe as backup, surely as backup, nothing else. James Garner's another one, Mr. Bang Average. He's not gonna go back United. No. Unless they've got like a buyback clause for like 10 million or something like that was inserted into his deal at Forest. Maybe. Possibly. But nah, I can't see that. Can't see that. Timbo, whether you think they're good enough is a different debate, but numerically they were needed. We needed Gittins, Garnacho, Esteval because we lost Mudryk, Sancho, Madueke. 3 out, 3 in. Feels like overkill, though. Feels like overkill when you've got Palmer, Neto, Gittins, Garnacho, Esteval. Sure, we're missing other wide players that you've got. Just feels like a bit excessive. Gaz Roberts, Garner's been Everton's best player this season. Very underrated. That's a very low bar, isn't it, Gaz? Let's be honest. Like Everton's best player this season, it's not really a lot of competition. Adam, so you agree that Chelsea spent unwisely? Yeah, absolutely. I think they spent unwisely. They needed a keeper and they needed a centre-back. They got neither. 3-star Reds, evening Key. Hope you've had a great international break. Tough choice tonight, League, in football or sumo wrestling live on BBC iPlayer. Sumo Wrestling Championship. And Ronnie Dodge, I don't want him, to be honest. I don't think Garner goes back to United. I think Garner has found his level at Manchester United. At Everton, rather. He's found his level at Everton. He's not going to get in the England squad. He's not going to push on, and it's the same with Dewsbury Hall. They're of a level. They're just going to kind of plod along. Just going to plod along. John, have you heard about Sheikh Mansour's City's owner brother buying United? No, that can't happen. That can't happen. And it wouldn't happen. ESC edits, Christ, we're 8th. You're acting like we're in a relegation battle. We're only 4 points off yous. Mate, you've been very, very lucky. You've been incredibly lucky this season to get the points that you have. Your performances have been pretty poor. And your performances last season weren't brilliant either. Everton have circled the drain for years. So I think in October, I think we can all firmly agree, can't we, that in October the league table can sometimes lie in October, can't it? The league table absolutely can lie. We should have beat Villa and West Ham. You're not worth talking to. You're beyond reason and logic. You've absolutely left all reason and logic behind. If you're saying you deserve more out of Villa and West Ham, you have lost your head. By the same logic, you should have got beat against Brighton. You should have got beat against Palace the other day. So swings and roundabouts. There you go. Swings and roundabouts. If that's how you want to play it, that's nonsense. Joe, you could say Liverpool have been lucky as well. And I would agree with you. We have. We've absolutely had a degree of luck. The difference with Liverpool is we've already proved that we're champions. We're already of that level. What I'm saying is Everton winning a couple of games that they shouldn't have won doesn't now mean, we're 8th. Therefore, we're mid-table. That's nonsense. Don't talk nonsense. Don't talk absolute nonsense. Ronnie Dodge, I've got this feeling that United are going to start Ugarte on Sunday. I said that the other day. We were asked about that on here, and I said, I thought Ugarte would end up starting. It feels like Amorim will go for him, just because he's a bit more solid in that midfield, isn't he? He's someone who'll just really go for it in midfield a bit more than Casemiro will. Three-star Red says the table certainly can lie. Forest in the Champions League come May. Timbo, Everton aren't finishing top 6, but I think you're being harsh on them, I can't lie. Everton aren't finishing top 10. And that's not harsh. It is not harsh to say Everton will finish bottom half. That is not harsh. That is absolutely conservative. And that's exactly where I think they'll finish, bottom half. They'll float about 13th, 14th. That's where they'll end up. 100%. They're going no higher than maybe 12th at a push, and that's if they have an unbelievable second half of the season. 12th at a push is the best Everton can muster. No higher. Samuel Mark Ingram says Nuno Santo will be taking West Ham United to the Championship. Nah. And John Zena says it is true. A UAE consortium want to buy the Glazers out. Apparently United looking at Ruben Neves on a free. Interesting. Montana Priv says Amorim will go for shin kickers and destabilise Liverpool. I'm going for United to nick it. I think he'll do what happened with Liverpool and United last year, where we saw him going long and trying to sort of disrupt the rhythm and everything. Gaz Roberts, have you ever been to Analfield? I don't know where that is, Chief. No, I don't know where that is. We'll have to try again. LFC Youth Reacts says thoughts on the game so far. I mean, it's been all town, to be honest. Bolton had maybe had a bit more possession in the last 5 minutes or so, but Huddersfield looking quite dangerous on the counter-attack. Bolton have got the ball now, and Town have really dropped deep. They seem to be accepting that they're going to concede up some chances. Good claim there from the keeper, and takes the pressure off the defence. D says, who do you think right now will be top 4 this season? Top 4's set in stone. I think Liverpool, Arsenal, City for sure, and then it's a toss-up maybe between Chelsea and Spurs. That's it. That is literally it. They are the only two who can get it. Ronnie, I think Ruben will go long with Lamans in goal. Going to Sesko, who's probably better at holding the ball than Højlund. That'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see the teams. I'm really intrigued to see exactly how Amorim lines up. So I'm going to be live super early for it on Sunday, by the way. 4:30 kickoff. I'm going live at 3 o'clock while the other games are still on. So I'll be watching the other games while talking about the build-up to Liverpool and United. It's going to be a big one. FM No Casual says some fans need to realise there's 38 games. Good to see we've got you in with a bit of balance, mate. Hopefully you're doing good. D, Everton think because they bought a few rejects from top 4 teams that they're going to win the league. It's like I feel not pity, but I feel that they're always going to feel a little bit. They're going to get overexcited quite quickly, aren't they, Everton fans? Because they've not had an awful lot to cheer for over the last 30 years. So it's always going to be difficult when they get anything that's nice and shiny. Illiman and I scores a couple. Oh my God, he's the best winger in the world. You know, Christ, honest, I swear to God, Tierno Barry has been shocking all season, right? Tierno Barry doesn't even have to have a good game. He just has to score a goal. They'll make him, in their heads, they'll start to do this mental gymnastics, and they'll start to say, oh, lad, that Tierno Barry, oh, he's a future Ballon d'Or winner. Telling you, unbelievable. And you'll just see it happen all of a sudden. What we saying? Aye, mate, loving my new job, new lease of life. Love it. Love to hear that, mate. I'm glad to hear it. Huddersfield on the counter-attack here. Good ball through. They're in behind. Oh, unlucky. Good defending. Really, really good defending at the back. It was Taylor who got in behind. And I think it was Toll, actually, at the back for Bolton, who just managed to wriggle away and get hold of the ball. Liam, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. And Timbo, I don't think Spurs will stay with Chelsea as the season goes on due to squad depth. I just worry about Chelsea's defence and the goalkeeper. Yeah, that's going to be the issue. LFC Youth reacts. Who scored? It was Leo Castledine. Yeah, a big header off a corner. Good header. Whipped in near post. Bang! Straight in at the near post. Good header. And put Huddersfield 1-0 up after about 15 minutes, I think. D says, Newcastle aren't getting top 4. Come on. That's worse than saying Everton are going to get top 4, that. Newcastle aren't getting top 4. Have a day off. 3-Star Red says, Big Ange will get Everton European football. Come on, Everton, move quickly before he's snapped up. Hey, I'm telling you, they'll force David Moyes out before the end of the season. He'll go. That was one of my early season predictions, was be that David Moyes doesn't finish as Everton manager. Chance for Bolton, must be. Oh, what a save. I think he's got to finish that. The game starting to open up an awful lot more here. Huddersfield on the counter attack. I'm pretty sure it was either Sheehan or Simons. I'm not sure who it was, bursting into the box from deep. And they had a shot, and it was a really, really good save in the end from the town keeper. Timbo says Chelsea's defence is fine when fit, especially for top four. Keeper is a problem, though. I mean, no, because even when you've had your first choice defence, you've been all over the place. I think back to the West Ham game earlier this season, that your defence is all over the place, and the goalkeeper situation. It's going to be a problem for Chelsea. D says, okay, tell me how Newcastle can't get top four. I don't think you've got enough goals in the team. That's the simple matter of fact is I don't think you've got enough goals in that team. I don't think Volta Marder can score enough unless he's getting assists properly, like proper creativity around him. I don't think he's got that, to be honest. So I don't think Volta Marder can do an awful lot. He needs it. He literally needs it on a plate for him because he's not got the legs. So I don't think Newcastle will get the goals that they need to finish in the top four. I think if they finish 5th or 6th, that's a really, really good season for Newcastle. I think the likelihood is they finish more like 7th or 8th. Razine, how's it going, Razine? Huddersfield, ball whipped in. Chance. Oh, nearly 2. Ellis says, where do you think Sunderland will finish? I think 17th. I think you'll stay up. I backed Sunderland to stay up just about at the start of the season. I'm going to stick with the fact that I think you'll stay up just about. It's going to be a tough season for Sunderland, but I think your home form should be enough to keep you up. Some good players in there. D says, are you forgetting we have Wisser, who scored 19 non-pen Premier League goals last year? Can't get him to kick a ball for you this season so far, so it doesn't matter how many goals you think he might or might not score. I mean, let's be honest, the goal tally that he got last year was a real anomaly for him. He doesn't usually get that number of goals. So I don't think it's realistic to expect that he will get 15 for Newcastle. Especially given the fact that half the season is finished by the time you even get him back. So, in my opinion, I think if Wisser gets double figures for Newcastle, he's had an half-decent season. So all of a sudden, those 19 goals that you thought you were signing, it becomes half, if that. I think if he gets double figures, you've had an half-decent season out of him. But I don't imagine for a second that he does. Timbo says Caicedo will help the defence out if he keeps playing like this at least. And Clarkey says, I think if Liverpool don't finish their chances, United will beat them on Sunday. United don't score enough. Same problem for United, really. Liam, how you doing? I'm doing good, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I missed everyone yesterday. I've not had a little day off. So yeah, it was an interesting day. Did some different stuff. Lulu says the Prem would be the real Farmers League without the oil money. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Premier League was the best league in the 90s, and it was the best. To be honest, it was the best before oil money. I'd rather go back to no oil money. Hey, cheers, Liam. Thank you for that. And FM No Casual says, I'd have expected two to have kicked on. They've stagnated. It's very true. LFC Youth says predictions for Sunday. I think Liverpool will win 3-0. Liverpool 3, Man United 0. I think we wiped the floor with them. And I think we put together a real top performance that's been coming. We're like the wounded animal. And that's the last thing you want to play when they're on a bad run of form. You don't want to play the wounded animal. Lulu says England only won one World Cup. What's that got to do with anything? Spain hadn't won a World Cup until 2010 or whatever it was. Chance. Oh, unlucky. It's gone behind. Timbo says the league was obviously better just being passed around between Arsenal, United and Liverpool. Well, it was better when there was some genuine merit to winning the league. And Chelsea and City have ruined that, because Chelsea and City are only big clubs because of one person, basically. Nothing to do with the clubs. Nothing to do with the clubs, nothing to do with the fans. Ronnie Dodge, how many goals do you think Sesko will get this season? I said 10. Yeah, I think 10's probably about right. I think he probably gets a couple more this side of Christmas. But maybe doesn't finish the season as strongly. Liam Manning, Palace top 4. No, Palace will fade away as well, especially as the European sort of competitions start to kick in. They'll start to get some injuries here and there. If anything happens to someone like Mateta or Gueye, they lose a lot, don't they, Palace? They lose a significant chunk of their firepower if Gueye drops out, and Mateta and Wharton in midfield. They've already got Kamada in midfield, and that's kind of that's round peg in a square hole sort of thing, so that's not working. FM No Casual says, that's a fair point. However, relatively speaking, Man United massively outspent rivals. Very, very true. Very, very true. But I always felt that there was a degree of merit to that Manchester United had at least earned their stripes. They'd always been a club that had done the right things on and off the pitch, and therefore that had been they've gained a level of merit, and that earned them their success, that earned them their money, and therefore they were able to spend big bucks. And I didn't really have a huge issue with that. I didn't like it. I hated growing up with United winning everything. That's why it's laughable when you get these morons coming on saying you're a glory hunter. Don't know what world are you living in? What world are you living in? It's not just a few years of oil wealth, that's it. Russian rubles came in and spoiled the Prem, and then the sheiks came in and compounded it. LFC Youth reacts, is this your first town watch-along? I think it is, yeah. I think it is our first. I might have done one last season. I'm not sure. I might have done one last season. I can't remember. 3-star Reds, let's hope it's the first in, last out for England in 2026 in the US. Can't believe England are the first European country to qualify for the World Cup. Oh, I didn't even know that. EFC Edit says, we're comfortably getting Europe. I'll give you 20 quid if we aren't top 10 by Christmas. But you don't get Europe. This is what I don't understand what you're on about. Why are you talking like that? Being top 10 at Christmas doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean nothing. Same as you don't get points for being, top at Christmas, and it doesn't matter. You don't get anything. If you're in the top half, I'll be honest, top half I think is going to be a real achievement for Everton. If you're in the top half come April, I'll gladly concede. I'll hold my hands up and I'll say I got it wrong. I completely got it wrong. We're 8th. Yeah, but you're not the 8th best team in the Premier League, are you? Is that your argument? Are you arguing that you're the 8th best team in the Premier League? That Everton are the 8th best team in the Prem? What a ridiculous argument that is. We're 8th in the league, therefore we are the 8th best team in the country. What an absolutely ridiculous argument that is. Hey, by that same logic, you're saying that Sunderland are better than Newcastle and Brighton and Villa. Hate the facts, you. No, you just don't make any sense. You're just not very smart, mate. In the nicest possible way. Probably are. Come on. Come on. Timbo, if you're a club in massive catchment area, so have more fans by virtue of that, is that earning it or equally lucky in a different way? No, because more fans don't equal greater revenue. Yeah, more fans don't equal greater revenue. You would think so, but it's not actually the case. Taylor H, how's it going? Good to see you, man. Everton have no striker, says D. No, they've no striker. They've got no goals in the team. Unless they're getting goals off set pieces or penalties like they got the other day. It's, own goals and deflections is going to be Everton's top scorer this season. Same as it always is. So goals is a problem for them. They've got no pace in the side. They've got no right back. Their best defender is constantly injured. They're not finishing in the top half. It's absolutely delusional to think otherwise. Ronnie Dodge says Everton fans think they've got a new stadium. They think they deserve more respect. No, you don't. Well, the new stadium is very nice. I'll give them their due. They've got a very nice new stadium. But that said, that doesn't mean that they're a better team as a result. Taylor H just figured out today that FIFA Plus has so many different leagues. It's a really good app to watch football on. Yeah, it is. It's good. It's really good. And D says, plus they're forgetting Grealish is more injury prone than a kebab after a night out. A kebab's after a night out injury prone? That's a new metaphor on me. The league is judged after 7 games, Key. Come on. We know that. We know that. Sam, hey Key, I'm out the bath. Oh, let me know. I'll be round to scrub your back in a bit, mate. Liam Manning, same Everton that got outplayed by Leeds first game of the season. Yeah, and if you asked him which team's going down, it'd probably be Leeds, wouldn't it? He'd probably say Leeds are going down. Jordan, for fuck's sake, need a Bolton goal. In the first half or just in general? Ronnie Dodge, does anyone think England play better without Bellingham? I love Jude, but he can be a bit sloppy. Well, there's this rumour going round with Jude Bellingham, isn't there? There seems to be this rumour doing the rounds that he's difficult behind the scenes and his family are kind of coming down and kicking off at the management, at the team and the coaches, and they're furious that he isn't first picked and isn't first name on the team sheet. And they're doing the same with Job at Borussia Dortmund as well. Apparently, his dad burst into the dressing room at Borussia Dortmund and kicked off because the manager had the guts to take him off at half time. So apparently, yeah, the Bellingham's mum and dad are a real nightmare to deal with. And it's not really a surprise, I guess, that Tuchel dropped him if his attitude is causing friction within the camp. Who knows? ESC Edit, same team that couldn't beat little old Palace. Hey, and you're the same team that couldn't beat little old Liverpool. Hey, little old Palace beat us, but you couldn't beat us, could you, cock? Hey, where was you then? It's alright having a pop at Palace. You couldn't beat us, could you? D, they were correct about seeing Jude's potential and wanting him to play more at Dortmund. Yeah, well, and maybe, but maybe they've gone a bit too far with it. And as a result of that, they're now pushing. I can understand parents pushing for the kids to get the best for them, but that's maybe taking it a bit too far. Taylor H, big game on the weekend, Key. Oh, tell me about it, mate. Looking forward to it. Fulham against Arsenal. Come on, Fulham. Jordan, just in general, I did both teams to score. I think you could be on for that, you know. Bolton have had a fair few half chances. I think there'll be another goal in this one. And Ronnie, there is one academy player I can't wait for rivals to see at United who's apparently close to getting his debut. It's Shea Lacey. He's a good right winger. Interesting. I can't say I've seen too much of him. D says Jude is probably the most talented player England has seen since Rooney. Yeah, well, he's certainly got the... Jude Bellingham reminds me an awful lot of Pogba. He looks a good player. Like, he's got the frame, he's got a lot of the attributes in terms of strength, and you know, he can glide across the pitch. He's got pace and strength and power and all of that stuff. Really, really good. But I do think maybe there's a tactical fit that he's not quite right for certainly within a Thomas Tuchel system. And I do wonder how Tuchel fits him in. It's a nice problem to have, but I think the only player... There's only maybe one or two players in that England team who are... Maybe three, actually. There's probably three players in that England team who are first name on the team sheet sort of thing, and like they're the only ones who aren't moving. And I would say it's Rice, Pickford, and Kane. And after that, everyone's position is up for grabs. Taylor says, do you think United will turn up at Anfield, or do you reckon you'll walk all over them? I think 3-0, mate. I think we'll batter them. Yeah, I think we'll win quite comfortably this weekend against United. Timbo says, comparing Bellingham to Pogba is crazy. Take that back. Why? Why is it crazy? Chance. Oh! And Jordan says, I wouldn't worry. He'll probably start Jordan Henderson. I've no issue if he does. I mean, I think Henderson, Anderson, Wharton, all of them will go to the World Cup. But it could be any three of them who starts alongside Rice, couldn't it? I wouldn't really begrudge any three of them starting. Any of the three of them. D, I think even though everyone says it, he literally plays exactly like Zidane. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, Bellingham's nowhere near Zidane. Nowhere near Zidane. Oh, that's a shocking shout. Zidane. No, that's terrible. Right, well, it's half-time here at the John Smiths, or the Kirklees, whatever you want to call it. Half-time, Huddersfield 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. Foot Logic, how's it going? Good to see you. And D says players like Bellingham, either way, you have to play them, especially after the last Euros. Why? No, players get picked on form for the clubs. And if Bellingham isn't getting played really all that much at Real Madrid, which he seems to be out of favour at Real Madrid as well, as much as he is for England. So it's not really going all that well for Bellingham at Real Madrid. So yeah, if it doesn't pick up, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he doesn't make the World Cup squad. I would take him, but I certainly wouldn't be starting him. I think there's better players that can start there. 3-Star Red says the Bellingham's parents kicking off. Looks like Mr. Marinakis as a new rival. And Ronnie says, I think if he stays fit and has a good rest of the season, I could see Mason Mount getting into the England squad. Ronnie, come on. Mason Mount plays in that number 10 spot where Cole Palmer is and Bellingham is. If Bellingham isn't going, Mason fucking Mount ain't going anywhere near that squad. Don Whittaker, I'm shocked we hate scoring down that end. And Jordan, it's nice seeing how far we've come, to be honest, seeing all of our players doing good internationally. Cambo especially. Yeah, the young lad who's come in, he seems to have picked up quite quickly. DC 180, what about Saka? No, I don't think Saka starts on that right-hand side automatically. Again, he's not even a certainty to start for Arsenal, is he? So, I don't really understand where... Saka could well be on the bench and Cole Palmer starts off the right-hand side. Liam Manning says Bellingham is good, but he's getting too big for his boots since his move to Madrid for me. And Timbo says, as long as Henderson doesn't play, I have no problem with him going. Same with Maguire. Well, why would you want him going if he can't play? Dawn Whittaker, it was a good header. It was a very good header that put Huddersfield in front. And Jordan, if people actually believe that Mount over Eze, you've lost your mind. Yeah, Mount's going nowhere near that England squad. Doesn't matter. He could score literally 30 goals over the next season. He ain't getting in that England squad. D says, out of favour. He just came back from a shoulder surgery. Yeah, and he got booed the other day against Atletico Madrid. And he's been left out of the Real Madrid club calendar. Supposed to be the star. He isn't even in the top 12 players for Real Madrid. They've not even had him in the calendar. The 2026 Real Madrid calendar doesn't have Jude Bellingham in, doesn't have Trent Alexander-Arnold in. Make of that what you will. So no, I do think Jude Bellingham isn't quite in favour at Real Madrid. D says Bellingham stepped up every game in the big moments when no one else did. EFC edits. Barry has traits of prime Lukaku. Hate it or not, he's getting 15 plus goals. Has he got one yet, mate? I don't know. Has he actually scored for Everton yet? Nearly in November, are we? Yeah, nearly in November. Has he scored yet for you? 30 million quid. Not sure. Must have missed that one. D says, wow, because he doesn't get put on a piece of paper. Okay, pal. Well, it's true. It's true. Listen, what I'm saying is Jude Bellingham is no longer at Real Madrid thought of as an immediate starter. I think, given the fact that he's come back from injury, he's been effectively laughed at by the fans. They booed him, and he played really, really poorly against Atletico Madrid. Those are the sorts of games that can finish your career at Real Madrid. D, yeah, nothing to say about him stepping up. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's loads of players who've stepped up. Does Harry Maguire go to the World Cup because he steps up for England every time he plays for them? No. No, he shouldn't. It doesn't matter what you do for England. It's what you do for your club. It's what you do for your club. And if Jude Bellingham is having a shit season for Real Madrid, same as Trent Alexander-Arnold, then they shouldn't go to the World Cup. Simple. Miles Lewis-Skelly shouldn't be going to the World Cup. Why? Because he can't get in. He can't get a game for Arsenal. He shouldn't be. I think there's a very real possibility that Madueke ends up starting more for Arsenal on that right wing, and Saka, maybe he gets injured. Who knows? Saka's been quite injury prone, so it wouldn't be surprised at all if Saka doesn't start at the World Cup either. D says Mbappe got booed last season. Look at him now. And Jude Bellingham is the Cristiano Ronaldo of Scott McTominay's. Ronnie Dodge says, what I like about Tuchel is he plays players who are in form, not the big stars, just because of their name. Well, he's certainly given Madueke a really good go, hasn't he? Yeah, he's certainly given him a good go. D says Maguire never scored late winners for England. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And so what? Again, late winners for England does not guarantee you places in the starting 11. I don't really know why you would think it would. It's an odd selection criteria. Like I said, if over the course of a season, if Jude Bellingham doesn't turn up for Real Madrid, he doesn't get in the World Cup squad. Simple. Simple. Timbo says Tuchel loves Mount. It wouldn't surprise me if he plays Mount if Mount gets in good form. Well, he likes Reece James as well, doesn't he? For that reason, I guess, Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to have a stormer of a season, an absolute stormer of a season, to somehow get in over Reece James. Even though he's the best right back in football, there's no way that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to get in playing the way that he has done so far. Reece James doesn't even need to play all that well for Chelsea. If he's fit, he probably starts for England because it's Thomas Tuchel. Be yourself, Dylan. How's it going, Dylan? Good to see you. Second half about to come up here for Huddersfield Bolton. 1-0. Huddersfield playing quite well. I think they've deserved to be in front so far. It's been a good performance so far from the Terriers. And Ronnie Dodge, Maguire wouldn't get into the England squad when he starts for United against a team like Brentford. I have heart palpitations. Yeah, he was at fault, wasn't he, for the other goal against Brentford the other day. Sorry, 1 second. I was just looking at the head-to-heads for these two. It's literally, forget the actual form away from each other. Head-to-head, they've both got a pretty even record against each other. So there's no real favourite for this one tonight. Bolton probably in pretty bad form, but Huddersfield too. Bolton haven't won all away all season. Be yourself, Dylan. Trent's cheeks. Trent's cheeks. Oh, listen him. I can't believe that guy came in and said that. Liam says you get picked because you've done well at club level. That's how it should be. But he picked Miles Lewis-Skelly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it either. And Timbo says, Sir Reece of James is deservedly playing for England, I'll have you know. What a surprise. Dylan, it's a joke, and someone can't take a joke. He's gone, mate. He's gone. He's been a little wet wipe all night. He's been a little divvy all night, him. He's been itching. He's been itching for a kick. Can't just start insulting my mate Dylan. I think you can get away with it. Drift, you little germ. Right, we're about to kick off the second half here. Huddersfield v Bolton. Do we think there's more goals in this one? I thought we'd get at least one more. I'd be disappointed if we don't see another goal in this one. Jordan, our Palace fan, is massively rooting for Bolton. He's got both teams to score, so he needs a Bolton goal in this one in the second half. Bolton have certainly created enough chances, haven't they? It feels like they have got a real possibility of nicking a goal, but Huddersfield on the counter have looked dangerous too. Taylor getting in behind. Does feel like there's a possibility for Huddersfield to kill it off. And it might well be that the second goal just decides this. Huddersfield get it, game's done and dusted, dead and buried. Bolton get it, game on. So we'll see. Timbo Slices, who is the best player to play for either of these clubs? The best player to play for either of these clubs. Bolton would probably be Nat Lofthouse, wouldn't it? You'd probably say Nat Lofthouse. For Huddersfield, I mean, you're going back some time. Huddersfield won league titles back in, I think, pre-war. Before the First World War, Huddersfield were winning titles. And Bolton were, doing well back in the day. So yeah, you'd say Nat Lofthouse for Bolton. Huddersfield, I don't know, some guy back in the day. Probably recent years. In recent memory, let's say Premier League era, Huddersfield, it would probably be Andy Booth. Andy Booth would be Huddersfield. Because funnily enough, they've got him as their mascot. I didn't know this. I went to a Huddersfield Town game with one of my mates. He's a massive Huddersfield Town fan. And I went, and they had 2 mascots. I didn't know this. 2 mascots. I was walking around the outside of the stadium, and there's a terrier, which you think, fine, fair enough. The terriers. And then there was just this, like, bloke in a mascot uniform, a mascot outfit. But it wasn't like an animal or anything. It was just like, I don't know, like imagine Postman Pat in a Huddersfield Town kit. That's what it looked like. It looked like Postman Pat in a Huddersfield Town kit, but in a mascot uniform. And he was just walking around out the stadium, and loads of like fans were posing with him and whatever. And I was like, James, who's this fella? What's this? Like, I've just seen the terrier mascot round the corner. Who's that? And he went, oh, that's Boothie. Who the fucking hell? Who's Boothie? He was like, oh, Andy Booth. Like, our, like, legendary Boothie. We got him. And he's our mascot as well. So how mad's that? That's like Liverpool having a Salah mascot walking round, or a Gerrard mascot, or whatever, walking round after this next couple of years. Can you imagine that? Some guy, I agree, some guy was class. Well, I mean, it's before the war. I don't know. Am I supposed to know what he was called? Let's have a look. Huddersfield Town. Top scorers. List of Huddersfield Town records and statistics. Right. The player records. Billy Smith, 574 appearances in the 1913 to 1934. Tom Wilson, 1919 to 1932. All of their best players were like never experienced war, but not like before that. That's like they were all around about the Titanic. They were all playing football when the Titanic sank. All of Huddersfield's best ever players. That says an awful lot, doesn't it? 1912 when the Titanic sank, and that's when Huddersfield's best players were around. George Brown is Huddersfield's top scorer of all time. Although saying that, third, the top 3 goal scorers for Huddersfield Town are George Brown, 1929, Jimmy Glassard, 1956, and then Andy Booth, third. Told you, Boothie, legend. Timbo, you should know them all, Key. You call yourself a football historian. I've never once called myself a football historian. SHV06 says Bolton for the win. Who do you think's going to win? I think Huddersfield will get at least a point out of this one. They're a goal up. Huddersfield, usually when they go in front, they stay in front. Bolton, not great away from home. Bolton haven't won away from home all season. So there you go. There's an important stat to know for tonight. Bolton do not win away from home. They haven't won away from home all season. It's unlikely they win away from home tonight, given that they're a goal down at half-time. So I'm going to go for... But I think Bolton score. So I think I'm going to go 2-1. Huddersfield 2, Bolton 1. Jokey, you were getting your pension when they were around, pal. Joking, I ain't got a pension, me. Dolewaller. In 1913, Key was in uni. Open university as well. Open age. Oh, come on. That was my missus, that, who threw the threw the jewel off the Titanic at the end. Oh, unlucky. Liam Manning says, at Q Stadium, thought it was John Smith. It always has been the John Smith Stadium, hasn't it? They might have changed the name recently. I'm guessing it's just a sponsorship thing. The AQ Stadium. Yeah, it is the AQ Stadium. But it's not the Accu Stadium. I don't care what it did. So it's the Accu Stadium, but it's been called, there you go, the John Smith Stadium from 2012 to 2025. So for the last 13 years, it's been the John Smiths. In fact, before that, from 2004 to 2012, it was the Gal Farm Stadium. So that's how I knew it as anyway. I always knew it as the John Smiths. Liam Manning, that's like the Reading Stadium will always be the Madejski for me. Yeah, the Madejski Stadium, and even now it's called, is it the Select Car Leasing Stadium? It's modern football for you, that. Just one of them things. And SHE says, "Yep, this is a fair prediction, but I've got a bet for Bolton to win." Nah, I don't think you're gonna get that, unfortunately. I'd be very surprised. Right, what we're saying, isn't Stokes not called the Britannia anymore? Oh, I don't know, you know. I really don't know. Huddersfield, clear it away. Back in by Bolton, just about away again. So, I wanted to talk about some news that we've seen in the papers over the past weeks in terms of football. So, John Joe Shelvey, I don't know if you've spotted, John Joe Shelvey was talking about how he's now playing in Qatar. I think he's at Qatar or the United Arab Emirates. He's playing in the second division out there. And he said that he's not gone there for money. He's actually gone there because of the quality of life. Because he doesn't want his kids being raised in England. He said he felt he couldn't walk around London wearing a watch. He felt that the UK is unsafe, and he's moved to the UAE with his family, not for money. He said he's earning less than his cousin who's working in a hotel in London. So he's only on a couple of grand a month over there apparently, but he's enjoying his football, he's enjoying his final few years before he retires, and evidently he's enjoying life out there in the Emiratis. Salford City have announced stadium improvements with new canopies over the stands. Didn't know that they'd be redoing the stadium. Ah, there you go. There's an interesting one. I didn't know that. Israeli fans have been banned from Villa's upcoming UEFA Europa League match rather, due to security fears. So Villa are playing Maccabi Tel Aviv, isn't it? I think it's Maccabi Tel Aviv. They're playing in the Europa League coming up. I think we were gonna do that game. I don't think we are anymore. I think we picked a different one. I'm sure we picked Palace. I think we're watching Palace against RZ Alkmaar. So yeah, waiting for what happens with that one. But I think they're stopping the Israeli fans coming over. What we saying, Charlie? Why did you stop your MJ journey? I haven't, mate. No, I'm still on it. Yeah, I'm still on it. Liam Manning, John Joe Shelby getting called up for England. Well, it could happen. And Joe said if he had to live in the UK, he'd live in Newcastle. Yeah, why not? Unbelievable place, Newcastle, innit? You meant posting it. To be honest, mate, I've just been too busy with this channel. Just far too busy. Yeah. Far too busy. I say we discuss the Zaha and Mateta drama. It's funny. I don't actually know what's happened there. Can someone fill me in? What's happened with it? Yeah, what's happened? Ensav, I like them Man United shirts you've got in the back there. It's an odd statement to make from an Inter Milan fan. Finally, the international break is done. Tell me about it. Yeah, I don't really know what's happened with the Wilf Zaha stuff and the Mateta stuff. I haven't really seen what's gone on with it. Timbo says Mateta said he spoke a couple of years ago about playing for France one day, and players including Zaha laughed at him apparently. Ah, that's a shame. Ben Hughes were the one and only Wanderers. It's not going so well tonight, Ben. And Jordan, basically Zaha said Mateta wasn't good enough to play for France as a joke because Benzema and that was playing at the time. I mean, yeah, Zaha does strike you. I mean, he was Mr. Palace for a long time, wasn't he, Will Zaha? And I can imagine he probably got an ego sort of to suit that. Timbo says Zaha's come out raging at Mateta for saying that about him, putting him in a bad light. Well, no, but if he said it, then he said it. If Zaha said, oh, I only said it as a joke, then that's fine. It was a joke. I mean, there's not really a lot more to say about it. It's a storm in a teacup, innit? He says this fella said something about me, and he went, yeah, I did say it, but I didn't mean it like that. All right, fair enough. No worries. No worries. And to have Bruno to Liverpool. Bruno Guimaraes? No. No, definitely not. Jordan, Palace fans turning on Zaha are scumbags for once he's in the right. Well, I was going to say, I don't really understand why it's such a big issue. Good ball over the far side, unlucky, straight out of play. So yeah, no Israeli fans. No Israeli fans at the Aston Villa game in the Europa League in about, I think, a week or 10 days' time. And Ashley Williams, that's another thing that's come out this week as well. Ashley Williams has come out and said that he turned down a move to Arsenal in 2013. Before he moved to Everton, he turned down a move to Arsenal because of his loyalty to Swansea City. Now, if you'll believe that, you'll believe anything. Ensav Fernandez. No, Bruno Fernandes isn't good enough for Liverpool. Do you think you'll beat United? Yeah, we'll beat them 3 or 4-0, mate. 3-0 minimum. We'll wipe the floor with United. And Timbo, is Zaha Palace's best Premier League player, or have one of the FA Cup winners surpassed him? That's probably a question for Jordan. I mean, Jordan's our Palace fan. I mean, my opinion is that I would say Mark Gay is probably the closest thing to... I think Wharton could be another... For me, I would say Eze's very good. Eze's very good, and I think Michael Elise was very good. I think Zaha was very good. I think Mateta's very good. But when I look at the two players that have been what I would consider to be... I think Gay is a top 10 centre-back in world football right now. I think Adam Wharton has the potential to be a top 5 central midfielder in world football. He's not quite yet, but he has the potential to be. So I think in terms of best ever Palace player, for me it would be Mark Gay. But Jordan, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that as a Palace fan. Callum Coyle says, what team are you cheering on tonight? What team am I cheering on tonight? I'm not really cheering anyone on. I guess I'm probably cheering Huddersfield on a little bit more just because my mate supports them, but I don't really mind. I just like watching football, mate. I don't get into the whole... Yeah, for me, I just enjoy watching the game. And hopefully that's what people like watching. Jordan, good news coming from Palace, though. Apparently Glasner's staying next year and Wharton doesn't look certain to leave. Interesting. I think at least one of them will. I'd be surprised. I think Gay's going, and I think it would be interesting to see, unless Palace give Glasner massive funds to invest to try and push the team on, I'd be really surprised if Wharton didn't leave as well. But, you know, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Jordan says Zaha is the best Palace player of all time for what he did in the Championship. The best player in the Premier League is Gay by a country mile. So there you go. From a Palace fan, from their own lips, Palace fan saying that Mark Gay is the best player in the Premier League by a country mile, but it would still be Zaha overall maybe for what he did in the Championship. Fair enough. And Timbo says Lombardo back in the day, I think that was his name. Yeah, Tilio Lombardo. He came in as manager, didn't he, as well? He was player manager for Palace. Ended up taking him down that year. Liam Manning, Man City plotting a 75 million bid for Anderson and have competition from Chelsea for him. Fucking Chelsea! Christ, how many more defensive midfielders do they need? Chelsea need to sign centre-backs and a goalkeeper. What are they on about? What on earth are they on about? Ensav says 7-0 again. No, I don't think 7-0. I think we're probably 3-0 will be about right. Jordan says Zaha kept Palace in the Premier League for years and Gay took us that extra step forward. That's a fair point. And Ben says, what about Ian Wright? Righty. Liam Manning says Wharton or Anderson, who would you take? Oh, for me, Adam Wharton. Yeah, by a country mile. Anderson's a really good player, but I don't think Anderson is a Liverpool player. I don't think he's a City player either, for what it's worth. I think Anderson is a Spurs player. Or he is a Mikel Arteta player, actually. I think he could play for Arsenal, he could play for Spurs. Don't think he could play for City, I don't think he could play for Liverpool. And I don't think he could play for Chelsea, actually. Given what the manager expects. Elliot Anderson isn't that good on the ball. He's not bad, but he's far better off the ball. He's a presser. Yeah, he's not brilliant on the ball. He's not good enough on the ball for me to play for a Liverpool or a City. And Wharton is just unbelievable on the ball. And Sav says Liverpool beat United when United was third, and they have had a horror season. It could be more than 7. No, I doubt it. I very much doubt it. I think Liverpool will win quite comfortably, though, in the end. 2 or 3-0. Ooh, it's getting a bit feisty, this. Little tackle there from Huddersfield on the Bolton Wanderers player. Who was that? Ledson, Ryan Ledson, ex-Everton midfielder. Left one on Sheehan, I think, in the midfield area there. Ensav, what you say if United beat Liverpool? Well, there's not really a lot you can say. It's a derby. I don't think they will beat us, though. And Jordan, it's mental to think Palace would misuse more than Wharton, considering how good Wharton is. Nah, come on, mate. You're not saying that. That's copium. That's copium, that. That's self-preservation because you know it's coming at some point. Wharton's leaving. There's no way... Hughes doesn't even start when Wharton's fit, and Hughes is fit. He's putting Kamada there alongside Wharton for some reason. I don't understand it. I do think Will Hughes is a really valuable player for you, though. Ball in from the left-hand side. Bolton cleared away and cleared away again. Ben says Anderson's more of a box-to-box player. Yeah, I wouldn't even say he's box-to-box. He doesn't get in the box. He doesn't get in the opposition box enough. He doesn't score enough, does he? He gets about the pitch, though. I guess that in that sense he's box-to-box. He does cover a lot of ground and But that'd maybe do him a disservice. I don't want to say he's just he's a runner. He's not a runner. He can control the game and he can win he wins his duels. He wins a tackle. He's like an old. He's like, do you know what he's like? He's like an Andy Robertson in midfield. He wins his duels. He'll run for days. He's like an Energizer bunny. But I don't think he's all right up here from a tactical point of view. I think he's got a lot to learn, and I don't think his ability on the ball is anywhere near as good as it needs to be to play for a top team. Timbo says, do any of the top teams need a Wharton at the minute? Everyone's got good midfielders currently. I think Wharton replaces Alexis McAllister. I've said it for a while. I think Liverpool sell Alexis McAllister to Real Madrid. That one seems to have been queued up for a while. And I think, Argentinian players go into Real Madrid. It fits, doesn't it? And I feel like he will end up at Madrid, and I think Wharton will come to Liverpool. Andres Cabrera, good to see you. Ollie Marley, what's your Prem Week 8 predictions? I'll go through them shortly. I'm hoping to do a video on them, to be honest. Jordan Wharton is unreal, but Hughes is a dog who we struggle without. He just doesn't stop running. Yeah, and some would say Will Hughes is an older version of Elliot Anderson, isn't he, in that sense? Just an older, maybe slightly less mobile Elliot Anderson. Timbo says Key just called Anderson mentally unwell, not right there. Nah, I didn't mean that. I meant he's just not all there in terms of his ability on the ball. Like I don't think he's tactically as aware as you need to be. Like positionally, I think he's really, really good and his energy is unbelievable, and I think he's an asset to Forest. But I don't think he's good enough to put in a top team and be a difference maker. I don't think he fits in a Liverpool or a City midfield, put it that way. And Liam Manning says Chelsea keeping an eye on Yildiz, need a bigger team, boss at this rate. Yildiz, again, why are they after wide players? Crazy. Mohaminul Samin, what will the scoreline be? I think it will be Huddersfield 2-0 I'm going to go for. I said 2-1, but I think it's going to be 2-0. I'm hoping that Bolton can get one for our mate Jordan, because Jordan's desperate for Bolton to score. Timbo says, Key, I've just realised you've not made any innuendos tonight. Well done. We're going to get the Define Young merch out, and we're also going to get the Tugging in the Box merch. And, don't know, we need to get a few others. What other ones have we had? Define Young, Tugging in the Box. It's definitely a fair few innuendos we've had recently. I have to keep track of them. Jordan, we know Wharton is leaving. We've accepted that, but people need to realise when Palace lose a key player, he's already replaced by someone good, just a lot cheaper. I'd be intrigued to see who you would go for to replace someone like Adam Wharton. Maybe someone like Hayden Hackney. Could Hackney work from Borough? We're watching Borough tomorrow night, obviously. Borough against Ipswich in the Championship. If you've not yet subscribed, please make sure you do. We're live tomorrow for Borough Ipswich in the Championship. We're live all weekend for the Premier League. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Borough get on against Ipswich. I think Ipswich probably just nicked that one. Pup, evening all. Good to see you, Pup. What have I missed? You've missed Huddersfield scoring off a corner after about 15 minutes. And then it's been pretty drab after that. Couple of half chances for Bolton. Not too much else in the way of clear chances. Both teams, it's a bit scrappy. It's been a bit scrappy. We've got 25 minutes left here now. You're not getting past him. No chance you're getting past him. Yeah, it's Xavi Simons here for Bolton. Give it away. They can't really keep hold of it. Can't keep hold of it. Timbo, Define Young was diabolical. Wasn't my fault though. Again, just to clarify. Jordan says heavily linked to Joe Bellingham. I think you'd do best to stay away from that one, to be honest. I think there's better players you can get. There's a lot of quality out there at the minute in the centre mid region, I guess. And oh, for God's sake. Yeah, Palace have got enough sort of cachet now that I feel like they can go and get some real quality in there, that they don't need to be scrimping and go and getting just like any old player. There's an awful lot of ability there that they can go and tap into. Huddersfield are in, should be 2. Oh, that could be a penalty, ref. Is it a penalty? Oh, he's give a corner. He's give a corner. Bolton clean through on goal, and Huddersfield just about get away with this one. Who is it? Who he ends up? It's a great run through the midfield, that. Absolutely unbelievable run. He's onside. Oh, how's he not got a penalty there? How's he not got a penalty? Oh, referee, you've had a shocker. You've had an absolute shocker. That has to be a Bolton penalty. That has to be a Bolton penalty. That's crazy. That is absolute madness, that. I don't know how he's not give that. Did I say Huddersfield? Oh, sorry. Did I say Huddersfield? I didn't even mean Huddersfield. I meant Bolton. I got too excited. He was clean through. I don't understand how he doesn't get this. Oh, that's a penalty. Ref, you've had an absolute howler. The referee has had an absolute howler. It's it's unbelievable. It's McAteer's running clean through for Bolton. He's clean through on goal. He rounds the keeper. The keeper swipes him. As he goes round the keeper, he also knocks it goal bound, and it's going towards the goal line. It gets cleared off the line. But the keeper swipes him as he rounds him. He takes his standing leg. It's a clear penalty, that. That's a clear penalty, that, Jordan. I disagree. He absolutely... Look at his standing leg. Look at his standing leg again. If they show that back, I guarantee... Watch, here we go. Here we go. Watch his standing leg. Watch his standing leg. There you go. There you go. His left leg. His left leg. There's clear connection on it. That's a pen, that. That's a pen. That is a nailed-on pen. That is an absolute penalty. Penalty. Unbelievable stuff. Chance for Bolton. Far side. Oh, unlucky. Cleared away. That's a foul, ref. How's he give that to them? Oh, this referee's having an absolute shocker here. He's having an absolute nightmare. Jordan, heavily linked to Joe Bellingham, and personally I'd go for Kobbie Mainoo, even if it's a loan. I mean, I feel like there's a fair few you could go for in that midfield area. Kobbie Mainoo certainly is one that stands out, but you've got to think of players like... Do you know who stands out to me? Andre Santos at Chelsea. He isn't getting a kick. And when I watched him at Strasbourg last year, I thought he was absolutely unbelievable, and I thought there was a real possibility you could get... There's a player in there with Andre Santos, and I don't think he's going to play all that much at Chelsea. Yeah, I don't think he plays enough at Chelsea to justify him staying there. So I think you could go and make a real play for Andre Santos and get him on a decent fee to replace Adam Wharton. That'd be a good move, that. And he's already settled in the area, or at least relatively, isn't he? Conor Gallagher, we need to chase them down again, not back down this time. Yeah, Conor Gallagher would be a good one. Maybe not. He's not really a direct replacement for Wharton, is he? But you could put him in there alongside someone else. Maybe like... I'd say who'd be good. Like Hugo Larsson. Hugo Larsson at Eintracht Frankfurt is another good one who's very... He reminds me a little bit of Wharton. Timbo says Chelsea rate him too much to get rid unless the fee was silly. I think you'd sell him for about 30-35 million because he ain't going to get a kick. He just isn't getting a kick at Chelsea. That's going to be the issue for Andre Santos. He'll look at it and go, I can go and start at Palace in Europe maybe as well if they get back in Europe next year. I can go and start at Palace in Europe, a team that's going places under a good manager. Or I can sit on the bench here at Chelsea. I know which one I think he'll want. Bolton, chance. Oh, shot on target. Good save. Bolton, chance, must be. Oh, unlucky, nearly 1-1. It's starting to open up a little bit more now here for Wanderers. Starting to become a little bit more stretched. Huddersfield, they're riding the luck now a little bit, the Terriers, as we enter the last 15 minutes here. Timbo says Santos is only one Enzo injury away from starting. It's not like he's sixth choice or anything, to be fair. Well, no, he's more of a sitting player, isn't he? I don't think he would play where Enzo's playing a bit further forward at the minute. So you've got Caicedo. I think Lavia would start over him. If Lavia's fit, Lavia starts. If Enzo gets injured or Caicedo gets injured, Lavia probably goes in. And they rate Lavia very highly, don't they, as well? Jordan, this is going to hurt if Bolton don't score. And mate, I'm telling you, they've been all over him second half, haven't they? Yeah, go and get someone like Hugo Larsson or who was that United we're looking at the other two? Javi Guerra. Javi Guerra at Valencia. He's another one who's absolutely unreal. And Timbo says Lavia, yes, but he's never fit, is he, sadly? Well, no, he's not, but he's definitely ahead of Andre Santos in the pecking order, isn't he? Bolton down the left-hand side here. Callum says Enzo Maresca plays at centre attacking midfielder. Oh, you mean Enzo Fernandez? I was going to say, Enzo Maresca doesn't. You're on the bench, lad. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, he does. He does tend to play him a little bit further forward. He's almost playing as a 10, isn't he, at the moment? Right, Bolton free kick here. Big opportunity for them to put the ball in the box. Chicken Wing says Bolton need a proper striker. Well, they've got two up there, haven't they? They've had Burstow and Force up there at the start. It's going to be a corner. It's gone all the way over to the far side. Big last 15 for the Wanderers. Sheehan put the ball in. I think he's going to go over and take the corner as well, is he? I think he is. Yep, Sheehan's going to go over and take it. Timbo says Enzo Maresca was an attacking midfielder when he played, wasn't he? I don't know. I could be wrong. Jordan, it'll be a midfielder from the Championship, some baller, Hackney or McCann. Yeah, Hayden Hackney I could see. I'll tell you who might be an interesting one as well. If Sunderland were to go down, going and getting Diarra, Habib Diarra from Sunderland, I think he's had a really good start to the season for Sunderland as well, you know. And again, I know they paid big money for him, paid like 30 million for him, but you could go and get him if Sunderland were relegated. I'm sure he'd be interested in staying in the Prem. Probably get him for about the same fee they paid for him, to be honest, 35, 40 mil maybe. And especially if you've sold Wharton for probably the best part of 100 mil, let's be honest. Bolton, chance. Cleared away, and Huddersfield now on the counter. They're just outgunned there, Huddersfield. They'll do really well to get away here, and they do. Better, much better. Ben says, wasn't Ledson one of Preston's main players? Reckon he's on more money at Huddersfield. I don't know about one of the main players. I know that I mean, he's still only quite young. He's only 28. I don't know why he moved. Liam Manning says, haven't Bolton got Dion Charles? Well, he's not on the bench. He's not on the pitch. And Jordan says, the problem is Sunderland stay up, in my opinion. In mine too, mate. Yeah, I agree with you. I guess I was looking to see if there was anyone who's like in the Prem, maybe in those relegating sides, you could go and pick up. I tell you what, if West Ham go down, looking at West Ham and Wolves, if Wolves went down, you could go and get Andre or Gomez maybe. Andre or Gomez from Wolves would be a really astute signing. And the same with West Ham. You could go and get Matías Fernandes. Matías Fernandes is incredible. I actually think Matías Fernandes is a perfect signing to replace Wharton. He's not as good on the ball, but he's more mobile than Wharton. I like Matías Fernandes an awful lot. He'd be a great signing for you. So maybe whoever goes down, maybe that's what it is. Wharton is out, and the replacement is whoever gets relegated. Neves, Gomez, Diarra, or Fernandes. Lee Grant just giving some words of encouragement there. João Gomez. Yeah, it's not a bad shout, that is it. Good player. Really good player. And Liam says, just checked, he plays for Huddersfield now. Is he in the starting lineup? I don't think he is he? Right, last 10 minutes. Oh yeah, he's just come off the bench, hasn't he? Dion Charles. Ex-Halifax as well. We've had a couple of Halifax fans in, haven't we? Right. Ooh, unlucky. That was good play by Lyndon Gooch. Can Bolton sneak this towards the end? Can they get an equaliser? Ooh. Unlucky. Too many begs still on here. Says, have Huddersfield 2-0 on my bet. Well, I don't know if you're going to get another goal in this one, mate. I think Huddersfield is sitting deep, and it looks like they're... Unless maybe they could hit them on the counter-attack, but they're not committing many bodies forward, you know. Bolton are taking the time. They're controlling possession. Huddersfield are sitting very, very deep. And Bolton, it feels like they're waiting for the right chance. They're waiting for the fact that big opportunity. They're not kind of just punting balls in. They're taking the time with it, trying to create really good chances. And yeah, Huddersfield are making a couple of changes here. Bolton making a couple of changes too, I believe. Liam says Alfie May, good signing for them though, was a good striker at Charlton. He was, yeah. Joseph, who's been the better side? I would say it's been Bolton. Sorry, I'd say it's been Huddersfield. Yeah, I would say it's been Huddersfield, to be honest. It's been a decent game. Richard Taylor's gone off. Richard Taylor's come on. Max Conway's gone off for Bolton. ZRAMP says Huddersfield Town, please win. Well, last 10 minutes here. Yeah, Huddersfield have been the better side, but only marginally. Bolton have definitely been unlucky. I think they could have pinched a point on another day. Timbo Slice, what's your overrated Premier League X1? Try not to make it all Everton and United if you can. Well, should we do one per team then? Let's do one per team. Why not? Overrated. Should we have? It's got to be. Well, maybe we do overrated Premier League 11, like current. Should we do current? Overrated Premier League goalkeeper David Raya. There you go. There's me Arsenal. David Raya. Right back, Reece James. There you go. Christ, we're flying through here. Reece James, David Raya, centre back. Overrated centre back. Who's an overrated centre-back in the Premier League? De Ligt. And to be honest, he's only overrated by Man United fans. So I'd say De Ligt. But there you go, Liam, we're on the same page. There you go. Timbo, I'll see you tomorrow, mate. Raya, James, De Ligt. Another centre-back. Fucking hell. Another centre-back. Who's overrated? That's a really tough question, that. That's a really tough question. Centre-back who's overrated in the Premier League. And they can't play for Arsenal. Whisper it quietly, Canate. No, I've got me Liverpool over. I know who me overrated for Liverpool is. It ain't Canate. Centre-back that is overrated. I'll tell you who it'll be. Here you go. Mark Gay. Mark Gay is overrated. It's not Van der Ven's unbelievable. Van der Ven's underrated, if anything. Mark Gay is overrated. And I know Jordan's not going to like that. He's very, very good. But I don't think he's so good that he demands attention from Real Madrid and Barcelona and Liverpool and everyone, and he's going to be a starter for them. I do think he's a very, very good centre-back, and he could well be, like I said earlier, top 10 centre-back. I just don't think he's as good as maybe people are making. I think the fact that he's a free transfer at the end of the season is maybe clouding that judgment a little bit. So I would say Gay. And then left-back... Oh, fucking left-backs, Christ. Ryan Aït-Nouri for City. I like Aït-Nouri though. Doesn't mean I don't like the player. I just think he's... Oh, Spence. I can't. I've not... Do you know what? Spence, yeah. Spence. Agreed. Jed Spence. gets overrated because of his versatility, so I agree. Jed Spence would be overrated as well. Midfield, Morgan Rogers, good but overrated. Based on this season alone, Alexis McAllister, which pains me to say it, pains me to put that in, but Alexis McAllister I'm putting in there. That was a really good clearance, that, from Huddersfield. Really, really good play. Rogers, McAllister, another midfielder. Tonali, there you go. Tonali. Scholes saying he's the best midfielder in the Premier League. You are having an absolute laugh. Oh, it should have been Bruno Fernandes, but we've already got De Ligt, haven't we? We've already put De Ligt in there, so if I've got De Ligt, it should have been Bruno. But Bruno, I don't think people rate Bruno Fernandes anymore, really. Apart from United fans, no one really rates him. So, then we're on to the attack. And then we're on to the attack. Attack. I'm going to go with overrated 11 in attack. Semenyo. Again, another player who's had a bit of a purple patch over the last 6 months. Van der Ven overrated is a terrible shout. I agree. I think Van der Ven's unbelievable. Ben Hughes says the refs in the EFL are gash. They've not been great, have they? They've not been great this season. Full stop, really. But tonight, I think Bolton should have had a penalty. I don't understand why he didn't give that. So, yeah, front three would be Semenyo, Grealish, and a centre forward that is overrated. A centre forward that is overrated. Do you know what? I'm tempted to put him in, and I don't know if I'm going to say Chris Wood. Just because I think Chris Wood is an absolute yard dog for what it's worth. I think he's an absolute... Fucking there you are, Callum. Yeah, I do. I think Chris Wood's an absolute yard dog. I think he's had a really, really decent spell, but I would put Chris Wood in there. So that would be my overrated 11. It would be Ryan in goal, James De Ligt, Gueye and Spence, Rogers, McAllister, Tonali midfield, Semenyo, Wood and Grealish. And that's based on one player per team. I actually quite like that. Yeah, I think that is a decent overrated 11. I'm happy with that. Here's a question. Who are the top 5 Belgians by Premier League appearances? Here's a question for the chat. Top 5 Belgians by Premier League appearances. Can you tell me who they are? Top 5 Belgians by Premier League appearances. Alderweireld and Vertonghen are in there. Vertonghen is, Alderweireld is not. And I thought he would be, actually. Hazard isn't, no. Oh, do you know what? Hang on, sorry. Company, although injury prone, so maybe not. Callum, always injured, to be honest. Hazard hardly played internationally. International? No, I'm just talking Premier League appearances. Chance! Bolton have equalised! Oh, in the last minute! The last minute! And they're going for more. They're going to go for the win. Oh my God, it's a last minute header and Bolton have equalised. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's a wonderful ball in. It's cleared away by Huddersfield. It's headed straight back out. It's a whipped ball in from the right-hand side. It's a lovely ball in. Oh, it's a fabulous header. He just peels over to the far side. And what an unbelievable goal that is. It's a great header. That's an absolutely fabulous header to put Bolton back on terms. That is absolutely sensational. Great goal from the Wanderers. Be yourself, Dylan. My friend had money on Huddersfield win. Didn't someone say last minute goal? They did. Honestly, they did. Oh, someone's coming back in. I can't believe they said that. He literally said, no, and do you know what's funny? He said 93rd minute as well. How crazy is that? Some guy said, I've got the script. Huddersfield score and then Bolton score in the 93rd minute. I am absolutely... I've lost my head at that. Some guy, he literally came in, didn't he? I can't believe we had that. Some fella came in the chat and said Huddersfield will score first and Bolton will score an equaliser in the 93rd minute. This guy's an absolute time traveller. Wherever you are, come back. I want the lottery numbers for tomorrow. Bolton are in. Should be. Oh, they've won it. They've won it. They've won it in the last second. It's 2-1. Oh, Bolton have nicked it. Bolton have nicked it in the last second. I haven't even changed the scoreline to make it 1-1. And it's 2-1. Oh, Huddersfield are falling to bits. The Terriers have been collared. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's clean through. And it's a lovely finish. And Lee Grant has got a face like a smacked arse. He's got a face like a bulldog licking piss off a nettle. He's absolutely furious, Lee Grant. And Huddersfield just give the ball away. It's a simple goal to concede. They give it away. And Bolton are flying forward. And somehow they end up with an overlap. They end up with an overlap in the last minute of the game. And he runs through. And it's a great shot. And the keeper, I think the keeper should do better. Oh, it's a great finish. They're taking too much away from it. But that's an unbelievable finish from Bolton. And 2 goals in the space of 90 seconds has won this, has decided this game. And that might just be it. Huddersfield 1, Bolton 2. What a finish to this game. Oh, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Great finish. What a goal. What a win. Absolutely sensational stuff here at the Accu Stadium in Huddersfield. 2-1, 96th minute. And it was Dalby who scored the first. Sam Dalby, the forward, came off the bench in the 86th minute and scored the equaliser in the 93rd. And Mario Colzier-Dubry, who is currently on loan from Arsenal, I believe. Oh no, Brighton. Currently on loan from Brighton. Mario Colzier-Dubry set up the first, scored the second, and absolutely unbelievable stuff here. Now Huddersfield trying to make it 2-2. Ball whipped in. Too easy. Keeper's got that all day. Timbo says maybe he time travelled before the second goal. Well, I would assume so. Yeah. Right. Let's carry on with this. Sorry, we're talking about who are the top 5 Belgians in the Premier League by number of appearances. The most appearances in the Premier League. Right, so who did you say? Benteke. Benteke is second. Benteke is second with 280 appearances. Villa, Liverpool, Crystal Palace. You had Toby Alderweireld, you said. He is... he is... 8th, I believe. Toby Alderweireld is 8th with 200. But Benteke is second. Jan Vertonghen is 7th with 232. De Bruyne's top, yeah, De Bruyne's top, 288 for Manchester City. Then it's Christian Benteke. Any more for any more? Christ, you've got fireworks going on outside for Bolton. Ginge Key, what's happening with Gravenberch? Is he injured? Struggling to find a definitive answer for FPL? No, he is. I don't think he is injured. I think they took him off as a precaution. So I imagine he is playing. He is starting. He certainly is training for Liverpool. So I don't think there's an issue with him that will prevent him being in the squad. And I imagine playing some part. I can't imagine he doesn't play, but I could be wrong. There is no definitive answer anywhere. So what you're looking for doesn't exist. M157 says, what an ending. Yeah, Lukaku. Yes, Romelu Lukaku is third. He's third. 278 appearances. West Brom, Everton, Man United, Chelsea. No, Eden Hazard is not. Eden Hazard is 6th. He is 6th. So you've got 2 more ahead of Eden Hazard. You've got the top 3, De Bruyne, Benteke, Lukaku, and you're missing the top, the 3rd and 4th. Oh, sorry, the 4th and 5th. Scrum Down Live says Vermaelen. No, it's not Vermaelen. Ben Hughes. Fellaini. It is. There you go. Fellaini is 4th. Marouane Fellaini. 260 appearances for Everton and Man United. It's not Trossard. We've said Hazard. Dylan. Hazard is 6th. So you've got the top 4. You've got De Bruyne, Benteke, Lukaku, and Fellaini. You're missing 5th. Hazard is 6th. It's not Dendoncker. It's not Trossard. It's not Defoe. I'll give you a clue. It's a goalkeeper. It's a goalkeeper. I need to stop the clock, don't I? Because we've finished. The game's finished. We're just finishing this stupid game off before the end. Mignolet. There you go. It is Mignolet. It's not Courtois, Ginge. It's Simon Mignolet for Liverpool and for Sunderland. So there you go. Simon Mignolet. M15, what's everyone guessing about? I'm doing a little regular quiz thing where we're doing top 5 players from a certain nationality have by appearances in the Premier League. Just a little quiz, a little fun quiz that the chat can get involved in. And they are the top 5 Belgians by number of appearances in the Premier League. So Hazard is 6th, Mignolet 5th, Lukaku 4th, Benteke... Who did I say? Benteke, Fellaini... Sorry, De Bruyne, Benteke, Lukaku, Fellaini, Hazard. They're your top 5. Then it's De Bruyne, Benteke, Lukaku, Fellaini, Mignolet. Then it's Hazard 6th. Then it's Vertonghen and Alderweireld and various others who we talked about. That was a cracking finish, says Swifty. Unbelievable. Liam Manning quiz every night. I'm going to try and stay on my toes and keep us with more quizzes. So yeah, if you like the quizzes, if you like that sort of stuff, we'll do more of that often. But yeah, that was really, really good. I enjoyed that finish to the game because I didn't think we'd get a game ending like that. But absolutely unbelievable stuff from Bolton to finish it off and win the game. Huddersfield 1, Bolton 2. What a game! Right, I'll be back tomorrow night. As you say, good to see you there, Dylan. I'll be back tomorrow for Ipswich against Middlesbrough at the Riverside. Hopefully you'll join me. If you're new, make sure you've given us a like. Make sure you've given us a follow. Lots of love. And I'll see you all tomorrow night. Take it easy. Have a nice night.